Hey you guys, welcome back to the channel. Okay, so today we have some exciting news. You know I'm a fan of the curious case of Natalia Grace. So after much anticipation, the series is making its return, and today People magazine released an article, so I want to go through that. So let's start. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. So this is Natalia's third adoptive family. Okay, so let's go through the People magazine article. So it says, although Natalia Grace is known to the world as an enigmatic central figure of the TV docuseries The Curious Case of Natalia Grace, she's often experiences a strong aversion to appearing on camera. As a TV crew prepares to record footage at a warehouse studio in New York City, the 21-year-old reality TV personality slumps in a chair, visibly shaken. Her eyes well with tears that fog her glasses as her face registers emotions, shifting from anxiousness to a raw of fear and ultimately panic. But after shouting in a trembling voice, "Everyone get out," and briefly locking herself in the bathroom, she emerges calm, even cheerful, and ready to explain herself. She says, "I have anxiety all the way to the roof." Natalia tells People in this week's cover story, "I actually don't like being filmed or being on a TV show. I'm more of a quiet girl who enjoys sitting on a porch swing with a book and a hot chocolate or coffee in the morning." She can be triggered by traumatic memories of events that viewers of the show remember only too well, including the allegations that she was an adult with dwarfism, masquerading as a child, and that she threatened the Barnetts, her adoptive family, while holding a knife a few years back. Now there are more troubling allegations involving her most recent adoptive parents, Cynthia and Antoine Mans, who are said to have subjected her to physical and psychological abuse. "It's definitely hard to deal with," she says. "I'm the type of person that hides it until I get too overwhelmed and it explodes." As viewers will soon see on The Curious Case of Natalia Grace, the final chapter premiering January 6th and 7th on Investigation Discovery and Max, the serious challenges of Natalia's life kept coming. The time she mounts a daring late-night escape from the Mans family, whom others in the show claim controlled Natalia for more than a decade, to begin living with the DePauls, a supportive family of little people who originally tried to adopt Natalia in 2009 at their home in upstate New York. Y'all always felt like she should have been with them, not because they had dwarfism, it's just that it seemed like they wanted to be with her. Speaking to People in her first interview since the show debuted in 2023, Natalia says she wants to tell her side of the story about life with a series of parents and legal guardians, including one former adoptive mother, Christine Barnett, who says she feared Natalia and called her a violent sociopath. Ooh. There were a lot of people saying, "You're fake, you're a liar, you're a pedophile." Oh, wow. "I'm also known for the little girl that was helpless and was beaten and starved and all that. That's not who I am. But that seems to be the only thing that people know, and that's why it hurts me a lot." Brought to the U.S. by international adoption, she was born in the Ukraine in 2003 to 24-year-old mother who relinquished parental rights because of her baby's dwarfism. Natalia spent much of her early life in an orphanage and unstable home, although she arrived in the U.S. through international adoptions by a New Hampshire couple, Diane and Gary Sisson, in 2008. According to court documents, her new American parents soon relinquished parental rights again because of her disruptive behavior. Her story took a darker turn when Natalia was adopted again by an Indiana couple with 3 sons, Christine and Michael Barnett. At the time, the Barnetts believed that she was a 6-year-old girl, but they soon became suspicious of Natalia's age after claiming they discovered that she had pubic hair, was menstruating, and had many adult teeth. In 2012, they successfully petitioned the Marion County Probate Court to legally change Natalia's birth year from 2003 to 1989, a process called re-aging that turned their then 8-year-old child into a 22-year-old adult overnight. The Barnetts accused Natalia of trying to poison Christine's coffee and kill her by dragging her towards an electric fence. They alleged that she placed thumbtacks on the stairs face up so that they could step on them. In 2013, Italian parents moved her into apartments in Westfield and Lafayette, Indiana, leaving her to live alone as the rest of the family moved to Canada and cut off contact with her. Natalia recalls struggling to climb the stairs to the second-floor apartment in Lafayette and being unable to reach the kitchen counter and washing machine because of her physical disability. I really disliked being the girl who was re-aged and lived in her own apartment, she says. I didn't understand why I was alone. I just knew I had this instinct in me to push and survive. All I was told was, you're 22 now. Whenever someone asks what your age is, you say you're 22, and you tried to murder your family. I was taught to lie. After a 5-year investigation, prosecutors in Tippecanoe County, Indiana, charged the Barnetts with neglecting a dependent, but a jury found Michael not guilty in 2022, and charges against Christine were dropped the following year. In the second season of The Curious Case of Natalia Grace, Natalia Speaks, Natalia also accused Christine of physical abuse, including hitting her with a belt, pepper spraying her in the eyes, and giving her 3 times the recommended dose of prescribed medication. Natalia denies ever trying to harm her family. I feel like I have to defend myself and be like, do I look like someone that could push someone twice my size into a fence? Do I look like I could even grip a knife? She asked, referring to how her dwarfism limits the mobilities of her fingers. I feel like I was brainwashed by the Barnetts. Christine coached me to lie about my age and say I tried to murder my parents. Why would you do that to your child? The Barnetts could not be reached for a comment from people. In 2024, Christine wrote on Facebook, Natalia was not abused by anyone in the family. No one ever took a belt to Natalia, and the allegations that she was beaten were just plain false. I sat through numerous hospital visits and therapy visits trying to understand and help Natalia, thinking we might be able to find the root of the issue. In the end, I learned she's a sociopath. Christine Barnett's ex-husband Michael told the Good Morning America show doctors treating Natalia allegedly told them, this person is a sociopath, this person is a con artist, you all are in danger. So, after more than a month of living solo in her Lafayette apartment, Natalia made a new friend when a neighbor noticed her sitting on the sidewalk and stopped to talk. Within days, Cynthia Mans had invited Natalia to move in with her and her husband, Christian pastor Antoine Mans, and their 10 children. At first, the Mans charged $250 in monthly rent, but they eventually welcomed Natalia as a family member. In 2023, the couple allegedly adopted Natalia, whose date of birth, after extensive medical tests and DNA analysis, was legally restored to 2003, and asked her to join the family's religious life and help care for her younger siblings. Natalia says, I learned how to be a mother who looked after the kids and assisted with homework. I helped raise 3 of them since they were babies. Yet, as she grew up, tensions developed between Natalia and the Manses over her independence and romantic life. When Natalia was 20 years old, Antoine discovered she was exchanging messages with a man named Neil on social media. even allegedly blackmailing Natalia with sexually explicit videos and photos he seized. And Antoine took her phone away and forbade her to continue contact with her boyfriend. Meanwhile, several witnesses, including the neighbors and friends on the show, claim to have seen Sanchez whip Natalia with a belt, slap her in the face, lock her in a room, and assault her. The Sanchez and their lawyers did not respond to people's efforts to reach them, and Natalia declined to confirm or deny. After 10 years together, Natalia had enough. With the help of her UK-based boyfriend Neil, who reached Nicole DePaul, an old friend with whom her husband Vince once tried to adopt Natalia, but would turn down, together they created complex arrangements for her to leave the Sanchez. 3 days before Christmas in 2023, Nicole drove from the DePaul's home in upstate New York and secretly picked up Natalia at a church in Nashville, where the Sanchez had moved. Natalia was nervous about the ramifications of leaving the family. Once I got in Nicole's car, I had texted my mom to let her know I wasn't kidnapped or dead, she said. It was an emotional time. I had to spread my wings. Since then, she's lived with the DePauls, who, like Natalia, are little people and have a daughter, Mackenzie, who's 19, and they have provided her with a long-sought sense of stability. Wow, that's pretty good. You guys, I cannot wait for this show to come out. I want to hear what happened with the Sanchez, because this, I just felt like the Mans family had too many children. And I remember they had that GoFundMe, and it was like to help to get to Jerusalem and to help get a van that was handicap accessible for Natalia. And then they started to fight over the money. It's just really rubbed me the wrong way. Let me know if you'll be watching this show for the final season. I have no doubt that Natalia has to have mental something, emotional something. And I'm not a therapist and I'm not diagnosing her. But all of this that has happened to her in her lifetime, it's not okay. And it's a lot. Let's see where this story leads, and I'll be covering the series. Let me know. Will you be watching The Curious Case of Natalia Grace? And do you believe Natalia or the Mans? As always, take care of yourself and each other. Bye.